You drive it, you define it. That's how Hyundai wants us to view this car, their small Kona SUV, here usefully improved. If you like cars of this kind, you're probably going to like this one because it ticks all the usual boxes in terms of style and fashionability. There's more though to this little crossover than initially meets the eye.
News that this Kona range is, in this updated form, primarily all electrified, will probably lead you to expect more changes in the drive demeanour of this standard model than are actually delivered. As before, there are full hybrid and all electric models further up the lineup, but the mainstream variants like this one merely get 48 volt mild hybrid embellishment for the core 3-cylinder 1 litre TGDI petrol unit, which offers 120 PS. The difference that the mild hybrid technology makes isn't very noticeable, although Hyundai has provided a selectable energy flow screen in the instrument binnacle, so you can see how that system is working. And its WLTP related efficiency benefits, they aren't very significant either. This 48 volt model manages up to 47.1 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 135 grams per kilometre of CO2. That is hardly any different from what you could expect from the unelectrified version of this engine, and that's despite the addition of the brand's latest IMT, Intelligent Manual Transmission System, to the standard spec, which decouples the engine from the 6-speed stick-shift gearbox after the driver releases the accelerator. For bigger efficiency gains, you'll need to be looking at the Kona Hybrid, which uses a 4-cylinder 1.6 litre GDI petrol engine mated to a 32 kilowatt electric motor powered by a lithium-ion polymer battery. The system works via a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, and the total output is 141 PS. The Kona Hybrid's battery is only 1.56 kilowatt hours in size, so there's no question of plugging in, but the self-charging setup frequently reverts away from combustion power at urban speeds, hence a properly efficient set of WLTP related stats, up to 57.6 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 112 grams per kilometre of CO2. To do better, you'll need the full EV, the Kona Electric, and that's available in a choice of forms with a 39 kilowatt hour battery up to 189 miles as possible between charges, and that's a figure you can extend to 300 miles with a 64 kilowatt hour battery variant. A completely different audience is being targeted by the flagship model in the Kona lineup, the powerful Kona N, which uses a 2 litre GDI petrol power plant, putting out 280 PS through the front wheels. A car of this kind has to evoke a reaction from you. That's part of the point of it. And the Kona has always done that with its muscular toning, sensuous surfaces and high contrast fender cladding. With the initial version though, all of that was a bit, well, in your face, a touch unsubtle. Now the look is far more cohesive, gym-toned and confident. This is how you do a facelift. Well, it's certainly more sophisticated for sure. Through the steering wheel, you now view a 10.25-inch screen with virtual dials, while provided you avoid entry-level trim, there's a vastly bigger central infotainment screen, also 10.25 inches, which is full of features that Kona folk will never have had access to before. Hyundai's tried to emphasise the dashboard's horizontal layout by separating this lower console area from the instrument panel, and a range of little trimming touches attempt to improve the cabin ambience. There is still a lot of black plastic though, and little of the extrovert vibe which characterises the bodywork. Some would hope for a slightly more commanding driving position perhaps in a car which characterises itself as an SUV after all. On the plus side, the seats are reasonably comfortable and there's also plenty of storage space. It's also easy to find a comfortable driving position. That's thanks to lots of wheel and seat adjustment. And in the rear, well, it's in this part of the car that you're most likely to be reminded keenly that you've bought an SUV from the compact rather than the mid-sized class. As it turns out, it's not too bad in here for the carriage of two folk, provided they're not especially lanky of leg. If they are, then compromises will have to be made by the front seat occupants to accommodate them. Let's finish with a few words on boot space. The tailgate's light to lift and it reveals a 374 litre luggage area in this mild hybrid model. It's the same with a full hybrid Kona, but the figure falls to 332 litres with the Kona Electric. Push forward the 60/40 split folding rear seat and you'll reveal a relatively flat loading floor with as much as 1143 litres of total fresh air if you load to the roof. So, does this car continue to have what it takes to stand out? Well, most agree that it's been styled to do that, which in this segment is half the battle. In its next generation form, the looks will need to be matched by more engaging drive dynamics and perhaps more of a premium feel inside. For the time being, though, what we have here should be enough to continue Hyundai's sales momentum in this segment. The Kona Electric and the Kona N are standout products. And this commoner version too now stands out just a bit more in the high street, which for its target market is all it really needs to do.